People on Twitter, you know what? I don't even feel like I need to finish that sentence because you already know something dumb went down. Basically, I'm here to defend TPain and you're here to join me because that man does not deserve what's happening to him right now. If you don't know what's going on, I'll explain it really fast. TPain is a singer who's most famously known for his use of Autotune. You know that smooth and soulful Autotune R&B sound that you can find in hits all across the world, from Bad Bunny to BTS? Yeah, TPain blew up for that in like 2005.
Man, she really don't deserve me.
Long story short, the man is an icon, okay? But apparently fellow R&B singer Usher has a different opinion. See, TPain just came forward and said that Usher told him he ruined music. And now we've got people on Twitter agreeing, we've got people disagreeing. It's just turned into this whole discourse about TPain's impact, Autotune's place in the music industry. And honestly, I'm not having any of it. I mean, I am having the discourse, that's why I'm here, but you get the point. But anyway, before we get into that, let's get into today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Verb Energy. I'm just not a coffee person for some reason, but that doesn't mean I don't need all the energy I can get, especially nowadays. And that's where Verb Energy bars come in. They're infused with organic green tea, so each bar has about the same amount of caffeine as an espresso. Even if you are a coffee person, Verb fits in pretty well as an alternative every now and then. They're low sugar, less than 100 calories, and they're made with actual gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan ingredients. I think they're ideal for in the morning or on the go, and super convenient because they get delivered straight to your door. But the crazy part is you can try all of this via a risk-free trial where you just pay for shipping, and that's less than $1. But this offer is only for the first 1,000 people that use my link. So follow the link in the description to get your Verb trial pack today, where you can try their top 4 flavors: blueberry crisp, pumpkin spice latte, salted peanut butter, and vanilla latte. Thank you Verb for sponsoring. Now let's get back to the video. All right, so here's TPain explaining what happened to him in his own words.
I heard a story about you and Usher on an airplane.
Okay, bro, he looks sad. This is about to make me sad, isn't it?
We was actually going to the 2013 BET Awards, and we were all in first class, and I went to sleep. I was awakened by the flight attendant. She said, Usher would like to talk to you in the back.
Nah, you would better not ever wake me up out of my sleep for any reason. I don't care if I'm in imminent danger of death. Let me find out. Like, do you know how hard it is to find time to sleep in peace nowadays? Let alone on an airplane?
So I got up and went back, and it was like, you know, how's everything going? Quick small talk, no big deal. And he was like, man, I want to tell you something, man. I was like, what's good? I thought he was about to tell me something real. He sounded real concerned. He was like, man, you kind of f***ed up music.
Oh my god, he literally looks like he's on the verge of tears retelling the story. I hate this. Usher's saying this because TPain popularized the auto-tune sound that now music is bad. Okay.
I didn't understand. Usher was my friend. He was like, nah, man, you really f***ed up music for real singers.
Okay, if somebody said that to me, I would have looked at them like they were insane. Mostly because I've never released music, so I'm not quite sure how I could have ruined it, but you get the point. Imagine saying that to somebody.
Literally at that point, I couldn't listen. Is he right? Did I fuck up music? And that is the very moment, and I don't even think I realized this for a long time. That's the very moment that started like a 4-year depression for me.
Well, that was difficult to watch. So of course people online had a lot of opinions about this, as expected. Some of them were agreeing with Usher. Well, I mean, taking emotion out of it, there really has been a decline in R&B production since TPain, who can actually sing, came out and caused people to start winging it with autotune. So although cutthroat, Usher may be onto something. First of all, I don't think bad R&B has somehow canceled out good R&B. Like, are y'all just not aware of Giveon? Have y'all never put on a Masego song? Like, to be quite frank, R&B is kind of thriving right now. Not to mention, even the artists who people consider like classic R&B, such as Mariah Carey, Jasmine Sullivan, Beyonce in her earlier career, they're like they're still here. They're also releasing music. It sounds really good. I don't think anything's happened to them because TPain popularized Autotune. I know this ain't gonna be popular, but Usher wasn't lying. It's messed up how he told him, but that doesn't make him wrong. If you take a step back and look at the male R&B scene before and after TPain, the drop off is significant. I'm just saying. I think the main idea with this statement, and it was in the other one too, is this idea that TPain caused people to use Autotune. At that point, you're just criticizing the man for being popular and then other people choosing to copy him. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's on them, not him. Besides that, TPain aside, everything, and I do mean everything, is pitch corrected nowadays, even if it doesn't sound like it. Many times someone's voice is so clear that you don't have to do much when it comes to pitch correction, like an Adele, for example. I really doubt much of anything is going on there. However, even people who don't use Autotune are certainly still giving their vocals off to vocal engineers who, well, engineer their vocals. And part of that engineering process is in fact pitch correction. It's just one of the many things that happens along with compression and a host of other processes to get that clean sound that's in basically every song. And you can pitch correct without Autotune. I'm not accusing people of lying here, to be clear. In fact, the heavy hitting pitch correction is actually done in a program called Melodyne. So, fun fact, most people who claim they don't use Autotune don't, but I guarantee you all of them use Melodyne. It's like a neat technicality there. Now, because vocal engineers are good at their job, and because singers are, well, good at their job, which is singing, again, most of this is quite imperceptible. It's not really used as a crutch if a singer's super good. But that being said, this happens across the board with everyone from your favorite indie singer to, like, I don't know, the latest top 40 radio pop hit. Now back to the tweets. Of course, not everybody agreed with Usher here. The same has been said about photo editing applications ruining photography. They are tools. They give some people a false sense of achievement, but the talent required to be professional still comes from an understanding of the craft, whether it be photography or music. This is very true. Singing is just a part of music. Now, I believe it's most noticeable part in most cases, but like for a song to exist, somebody had to write, you know, the chords and the melodies and harmonize it all in an aesthetically pleasing way, and then produce the song using instruments that are all playing the right notes and then somehow sound good together. Then that whole thing has to be mixed and mastered in a way that sounds good, even though multiple audio tracks are playing at one time on every speaker system in existence. So like, nothing I just mentioned magically gets easier just because that person is also working with auto-tuned vocals, if that makes sense. The last one I'm gonna read simply says, Usher has the audacity of saying that when he released Bieber to the world. This is true, actually. I read in a comment where someone said, imagine telling somebody else they ruined music when you're the one who discovered Justin Bieber. And I was like, did they lie though? I'm just kidding, of course. Sorry, Justin, you kind of had to catch a stray there. Anyway, that's what everyone else thought. What I think is quite simple. Usher was in the wrong for multiple reasons here, but I think the biggest one is that the man was just very hypocritical. Now, to be absolutely clear, this is not me criticizing Usher's singing voice or his own body of work, because I think he was pretty much equally iconic in terms of R&B from that era. But what I'm saying here is that if you look at Usher's last #1 Billboard hit, it was a song called OMG featuring will.i.am. And first of all, I just have to point out that song has aged questionably, to say the least.
Honey got some boobies like wow, oh wow.
But lyrics aside, while the song does slap, Usher's voice was quite noticeably auto-tuned into like this digitally perfect club banger sound. What I'm getting at here is he kind of sounded like he was trying to sound like TPain.
There's so many ways to love ya.
And by the way, TPain said that Usher gave his Music Is Ruined speech in 2013. So that actually would have been after releasing that song, which was literally just an auto-tuned club banger. This is 100% armchair analysis, but it does strike me a little bit as bitterness, right? Like the only way Usher was able to get a #1 hit in the 2010s was by doing a cheap TPain impersonation, and he thinks that's somehow TPain's fault. Now, it's worth noting, Usher was not the only person on that auto-tune is ruining the entire world kick that everyone seemed to be on at that point. It was unfortunately a common sentiment back then, which I'm going to be honest, some of y'all have got to stop blaming Autotune for quote unquote ruining music and just get better at finding music that's being released today that you enjoy, because trust me, it's still out there. But I find it different in Usher's case because, like TPain said, that was his friend saying that to his face. I just think that's super messed up. If anything, I'm grateful for TPain's music because there's so many songs that we wouldn't have today if it wasn't for him. I mean, first of all, Don Toliver, Post Malone, Lil Uzi Vert, Travis Scott, like that entire melodic rap genre that is popping off right now and has been for the past few years is really just a variation of songs that TPain was releasing up to 15 years ago. Now, I'm not saying that TPain invented Autotune itself. I mean, it was already out at that point. It had been used. Its first use was in 1998 for crying out loud in the verses of a Cher song, which 23 years later, I'm gonna be honest, still slaps. And even before the name brand software Autotune was invented, people had already figured out how to use equipment to alter the pitch of their voices, like Roger and Zapp, who popularized that, for example. Baby, you're my computer love, digital. So the elements were already there, but what TPain did was crank that retune speed all the way down to 0 and just put them together in like the most pleasing way possible, and it stuck. See, Usher singled out TPain for a reason. That blend of like a soulful sound plus that digital edge being popular today, we absolutely owe it to TPain. And like from my perspective, that's super cool. I mean, long story short, the voice is just an instrument, and altering your instrument for a different sound has been done ever since we figured out that instruments were like a thing. Let's say I greatly preferred the sound of an acoustic guitar over like, you know, a super overdrive amped up electric guitar. Well, don't you think it would be a little bit weird for me to say rock music is bad and or less than just because they play their guitars differently? I would feel similarly weird about saying music as a whole is bad because I don't like the way people are processing their vocals. You know what I mean? And that's not a perfect analogy because, like, you know, plugging your guitar into an amp is not correcting it like Autotune does, but it's a good enough analogy because bottom line, music is not ruined just because people do things in songs that I don't listen to that I don't like. All that being said, I actually do love the sound of an electric guitar, by the way. Rock music slaps, and make sure that you stream Willow Smith's upcoming album, Lately I Feel Everything, featuring the hit singles Transparent Soul and Lipstick, coming out July 16th. Another thing is, a lot of people don't seem to understand that you can't auto-tune something and make it sound good if you can't sing in the first place. Like if you hear someone and their voice is pleasant and there's auto-tune, it's not the auto-tune. There are so many things that go into having like a nice sounding voice, and pitch is the only thing that Autotune can correct. And in my opinion, pitch is the least important thing in terms of singing. Like there's so many things I would say are more important than that. For example, power, emotion, clarity, a high range, a low range.
It's a new life for me.
A high range. I mean, at the end of the day, I just like it when your voice sounds pretty, okay?
I don't know why I run away.
And guess what? None of the things I just mentioned can be altered with Autotune. And then on top of that, once we start adding things in outside of the voice, like stage presence, lyrical content, visual aesthetics, I really find that whether or not somebody has the capability to perfectly hit every pitch in a song without correction, that's the least important aspect of music ever. Like, sure, we do have people who can do that, by the way. Some people just open their mouth and every note comes out correctly, like Jacob Collier, for example.
Like if you go do 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 do, you compare that to do 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 do, Like that.
But I just need y'all to understand that Jacob Collier is talented to the point of it being demonic, okay? That man must be stopped, and he does not represent like most people's singing ability, even if they are good. Also, am I the only one who actually likes how Autotune sounds, bruh? Because I feel like it sometimes, okay? Let me clarify, okay? Autotune can absolutely sound bad. That's not something I'm denying. A lot of Autotune does sound bad, mostly because the people applying it have done like a really bad Melodyne job, so it just starts distorting the voice into these weird unwanted ways, creating entire other syllables in words that don't have more than one syllable, like right here. But like, while Autotune can sound bad, so can, I don't know, guitars. Drums can sound bad. Long story short, it's just one of many elements that's either great or just, oh gosh, please stop, depending on who uses it. And that's been the case long before computers existed. So again, this is not an argument for why music has gotten bad, but like I was saying, I actually like the way Autotune sounds, okay? Something about like a good beat, a cool voice, and just like Autotune kind of blending it all into a harmonically perfect sound. I don't know, it hits differently. It makes the instrumental and the voice just start sounding like one thing. And who better to illustrate that with than TPain, somebody who says he wants that sound in the first place. I mean, listen to these harmonies in his latest song. Me too, TPain. I like that as well. And it's worth noting, he was doing this all the way back in 2005. It just sounds good to me. Therefore, it's objectively good. Another reason I think it's ridiculous that Usher brought this up is, y'all know TPain is immensely talented, Autotune aside, right? His ability to write catchy melodies is, in my opinion, the actual biggest reason why all of his songs are still bangers, okay? So a whole lot of people doing the TPain thing back around that time, and he is one of the very few who's lasted, because his songs just go off for no reason. It's actually scary. Like, the man is so good at writing hooks that when the Lego Movie needed to write a song about songs having overly catchy hooks, who did they bring in? What I'm saying here is TPain is so powerful that he could literally just brainwash all of us for the rest of the rest of time, but he just chooses not to, and he makes really chill bangers instead. So I for one appreciate that. But yes, besides the talent of just being an immensely good songwriter, his voice is just perfect without the Autotune. There is literally some Disney main character stuff going on, right? Who sounds like that? Who sings like that? That's unreal. Well, I mean, I guess according to Usher, it's real since he's not using Autotune here. The real singer discourse is just absolutely insane and unnecessary. But bottom line, if you want to play that game, hands down, TPain will be at the top of the list of real singers who can be compelling and amazing without a drop of vocal manipulation.
I think I need her to drink a drink with me.
What Usher clearly failed to realize is that TPain is Autotune. His voice just sounds perfect naturally. I don't know how that works, but that's why when combined with the Autotune, it's just pleasing. It's the best way I can put it. I mean, it's why he won the Masked Singer, for crying out loud. By the way, has anyone seen Usher on TV lately, or no? Okay. Anyways, I can't hype TPain up enough, okay? Because beyond the singing and beyond all the stuff he's put up with, I just think he's a nice person, okay? Do I know him personally? No. But I do have like the smallest personal experience with him. So like one time he was live streaming on Twitch, as he does quite a bit actually, and I was live streaming on Twitch too. So at the end of my stream, I rated him, which sent all of my viewers to go watch him. And wouldn't you know, he actually stopped music production for a split second and thanked me by name. I mean, not by name, by my Twitch username, because why would TPain know who I am? But the point is, somebody who has been culturally relevant for a solid 15 years now still took a second out of his day to thank somebody for a small shout out that he absolutely did not need. It meant a lot, okay? I think it says a lot about him. And speaking of being nice, even though Usher absolutely deserved all of the criticism that he's getting right now, bruh, T-Pain still didn't even have a single ill word to say about him. He says in a tweet right here, "I still love and respect Usher. Telling that story was in no way meant to disrespect that man. People talk trash about me 24/7, but when it comes from someone you truly respect, it hits very different. I never said screw Usher. It was a drop in the ocean of stuff I was already going through." And you know, that just kind of does bring me to like a larger issue that is a bit more important than music or autotune and all of that. One comment really can push you into a 4-year depression, okay? Now, obviously this is not me saying one person can say a sentence to you and then it just, I don't know, creates depression and then casts it on you like a Pokemon. But like, if I can just make this about myself instead of T-Pain for a second here, I have been through this exact thing before where I have just been going through it, and then like one of the few people who I would have thought would not put me through it just shoves me through it, if that makes sense. I'm trying not to go into detail here. Long story short, depression, it's a lot. It's not great. It's not fun. So not saying purposely horrible things that you literally know will upset people is kind of poggers. And like that philosophy has been changing me a lot recently. I've been a lot more careful about the things I say, even just more careful about the things I upload to my channel, if I'm being honest. Like I uploaded the video about me laughing at a silly trailer, okay? Or I have the video about us talking about Shrek's cultural relevance 20 years later. It's still relevant, by the way. And this video was basically just me fangirling over T-Pain and his music, as I should. But like, I'm doing this because not everything I put out can just be like about the most depressing, worst of humanity type stuff. I don't want to be a source of depression for people, if you will, something I've been thinking about a lot recently. So bottom line, doing stuff like this, I am quite a bit happier. And honestly, I hope that T-Pain is happier as well. And his music slaps. So as you know, the golden rule of the internet is even if T-Pain was a bad person, I would still have to financially support him if his music was good. Anyway, before you go, I actually need you to do something for me. So I actually revealed this in my last YouTube video that I have this secret project for 2022 that I'm going to be doing, and that I've been working on it for 6 months, but I'm actually uploading it to a secret channel, not this one, right? Since that little reveal, if you will, that channel has gained 44,000 new subscribers, putting us at a solid 132,000 subscribers with no uploads. I now qualify for a silver play button, well, a second silver play, well, a third silver play button, all on a channel that I don't even have any uploads on, and I haven't revealed what it's actually for yet. A lot of you did guess, but the thing was you were guessing wrong. So I just feel like y'all don't understand how big this plan is. I'm gonna need a whole lot more than that. So go over there and keep your eyes peeled, because I may actually be posting a little bit of information on it over on the community tab there once the time is right. So remember, don't ask questions, just subscribe. Now let me end this with another clip of T-Pain singing, because honestly they just all make me so happy and I like being happy. Hopefully this makes you happy too. Okay, bye.
I can do this all day like it ain't nothing. No.